You're about to listen to the award-winning Stuart Pedasso Show. This show is for ideologically and emotionally mature audiences. If you should not be here, please go away. We'll still be here when you're mature enough to partake. Mwah!
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Stuart Pedasso Show. I'm never having sex again.
I might. One day.
One day, right. All right, I'm Dave.
And I'm Melissa.
And we're back. Yay. I hope you're saying yay. You may be like, where the fuck have you been? And what happened to the website? And where did all the podcasts go? And you're going to get all your answers here. Now, if this is the first time you've listened to the show, which happens, that's totally cool. Thank you for tuning in. And if you go to stuartpedasso.com, and by the time you hear this, the website will be back up. And you can check out, we can say, and you might not believe us, that we've been doing this for 14 years and there's over 600 shows, but I had to take them all down. And I was like, this is going to be
right now. There's like 5 shows up.
Yeah, there's like 5 shows. And I'm good. I don't know how to tell this story, so I'm just winging it here. And I wish I had.
It's funny what you're wearing today.
I wish I had this. I wish I had my lawyer here to like do that talk in my ear thing, like before I speak. But it would make the podcast really drag. So. Basically, let me give you the quick summary. I basically lost my job because of this podcast. I think that sums it up pretty quickly.
Basically, yeah.
Now, the story behind it, I think, is interesting. I hope it's interesting because you're about to hear it.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And I'm not going to say names. I thought I wasn't saying names before, but apparently that wasn't quite true. So as I mentioned, we've been doing this show for 14 years, and there's been over 600 shows. And I was under the assumption that there was no way you could find my full name from this show, right? Because we've done shows, and now I have to tell you this because you can't go back and look because they're not on the website anymore. We've done shows where we've reviewed sex toys, and even though I've been pre-gaming for a while, we've done shows where we've been really, really hammered. And
like every single time at Eric's house.
Yeah, right. Remember the 2-hour shows? Like that second hour was pretty brutal.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Really
good times.
Yeah, just brutal for y'all to listen to, but
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. So and I thought that, again, like I said, I'm Dave and she's Melissa, and I thought that was it, right?
We never say our last names.
Never say our last names, and
don't really have to. We're the only Dave and Melissa in the room. So.
Yeah, and I thought that it was not anywhere online connected to the Stuart Pedasso Show. Turns out I've been wrong for 14 years. Well, I've been actually wrong for a lot longer, but about this, I've been wrong for 14 plus
time.
years, right? There was a way, which I definitely look. Everything I've ever done wrong, I've been very adamant about. At least learn something from it. Holy shit, I've learned a lot of shit.
So much.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to help me at all, but I've learned a lot. So I apparently, if you do a web search for one of my names, my pre-married name. The podcast would have shown up. And I did not realize this. And when you...
I forgot. Where was it? Are you going to tell us where it was on there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say I screwed it up. I just didn't know. I didn't understand the technology 14 years ago. And my name was actually... My pre-married name was embedded into the metadata of every show that went out onto iTunes and all the places where you get your podcasts. And so it wouldn't show up in the show notes, but if you did a search, because my name was embedded into this, it would show up. And I had no clue. I had no idea. And once you
haven't done any searches on yourself.
No, I always thought that was kind of like being a wanker. Like, why would you Google yourself, man? That's kind of.
I've done it.
Oh, I do now.
It's like I do. I do.
Oh, I did before we came back on. For sure, I did.
There's a picture of me on DeviantArt.
Mm-hmm. With your name?
My former name.
Oh. Okay.
So.
Yeah,
no, I mean I'm not. I mean it is like it's a nude.
People are just going to have to believe us. We've talked about it on the show.
Yeah, I mean
you're just going to believe us because you can't go looking for it. So.
Yeah. But it's. I mean, yeah. But I did check my name. It is there.
So
I mean, people are. I mean, they'd have to look me up.
When you're a teacher and you haven't, one of your students is an 8th grader with no life. They Google their teachers, and
I mean, it totally makes sense. I can see why.
Yeah, and again, my name, I found out my name wouldn't show up like right away. Or no, let me rephrase that. If you Googled my name, the podcast wouldn't show up right away. You had to go like 3-4 pages in.
You might find like your arrest. You might have found out like about your arrests.
Yeah, but I've shown pictures of that.
CDR.
Yeah, but I've shown pictures of that.
No, I mean, I'm sure the kids know about it because
because I talked about it. I used it to teach because I was teaching social studies at the time. So, as I say at the time, and we're going to get to that. So apparently, a student found this out. That there's this podcast and I do this podcast, and the student mentioned, or no, I don't know who was the original student who found it. I don't know this for a fact. There's going to be some conjecture in the story, and I'll tell you when it's conjecture and when I know shit's a fact. And a student found it, and a student, and maybe the same student, I don't know if it's the student who found it or if it's somebody else, mentioned, hey, I saw you have a podcast, and I just kind of went, that's it. And I actually kind of thought it was one of the things I had done as in my local activism, which is a totally thing separate from Stuart Pedasso. And my name is on that. Actually, it's my married name, but
I remember when you told me. Actually, I remember when you first told me about that. Yeah,
and it's still there. It's still up.
Yeah, you didn't seem that you weren't concerned about it.
Mm-hmm. So now here's some conjecture because I don't have all the deets here, as the kids like to say 10 years ago. So apparently I'm going to guess it got from a student to a parent, and from a parent to someone in the administration of the school district that as of this taping, I'm still an employee of, and I'll tell you about that in a second, because 24 hours from this taping, I will no longer be an employee of that district. So it got to some administrator, not in my school building, but like what they call district office, where all the big cheeses are. So I got a phone call one day at school in my classroom, and it was the principal who said, after school, could you come down and see me? Yeah, I mean, it could have been anything, right? I didn't think it was a bad thing. I didn't think it could be anything. Could have been about a student. It could have been... Lord knows.
Well, either way, you didn't think it was anything bad. You were
no.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. All right, I'll be down there. So I go, and I'm handed this piece of paper that said, and he's like, look, I don't know anything about this. Because they wouldn't tell me anything. And it was a piece of paper saying, tomorrow, there's a meeting between myself, who is a bigwig in the district office, the school district's lawyer, and the union president, and yourself. And you need to be there. So I'm like, to the principal, I'm like, dude, I didn't say dude, but I'm like, he's like, I have no idea. He said he has no idea. They didn't.
Do you really think he didn't know?
No, he didn't. He said that the person the bigwig, came in and said, just give Dave this, and that's it. Didn't give him any other thing. Okay. So I go to this. Now I kind of think I know what's going on.
Did you think it might have to do with the podcast?
Yeah. Now I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm thinking. Oh, podcast. What else could it be? I have not. I have been a good boy in my classroom. I have not done anything super crazy. So I go to this meeting, and I got to be careful. I don't know if I have to be careful. I don't, just how I explain this. This is just so, I was totally serious. Okay. Never made any funny faces while I was wearing a, COVID masky kind of thing. But even with that, even under my mask, I made no funny faces. But there was some really surreal shit going on. So the district lawyer was there. And that's when I found out it was about the Stuart Podesso show. And if you're a longtime listener of this show, or a short time, even before we took a little break, we've done some I'll be wacky and zany things. We've reviewed sex toys. We've talked about politically some outside the box kind of things. There's usually almost always some kind of alcohol involved. We've talked about drug use.
We've talked about. We've talked about everything.
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah. Gardening, tomatoes.
We talked a lot about gardening.
I know. I don't know if I'm happy
gardening,
with that.
but gardening is the #1 hobby in the United States. So
Okay.
it's not shocking when we talk about.
I did not know this. Thank you.
Sure.
So, the meeting was like an hour and a half long, and the majority, like the overwhelming majority of this meeting, was the lawyer asking me questions about the last 2 podcasts we did before our break, this break we had. And you would think they're going to, I'm going to corrupt the children, and I'm doing sex things, and I'm doing drinking things, and we talk about beer a lot, and all the things that we've done. And it wasn't. So the last 2 shows we did before this happened, I talked about things that happened at school. Now, never mentioned the school, never mentioned the district, never mentioned the municipality where the school district is.
None of that. We've never talked about where you've worked.
On purpose, I would never do that. Never mention names of students, teachers, principals, administrators.
Like any of the schools you've worked at.
Yep.
When we've talked about it, you said,
Never.
I worked for the city school district, but nobody knew what school you worked at.
Right. Yeah. So, but apparently because it is findable, which I didn't know at the time, if you went to my Facebook, my personal Facebook, it said that I'm a teacher at the school district. So, right.
Yeah, I don't have on my Facebook anymore where I work.
Well, I don't anymore too.
Yeah,
right, I don't anymore too.
Where I work.
I even deleted my LinkedIn the other day. Not that I ever used it, which was driving me nuts.
Kind of lame anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have my Facebook, my personal Facebook, not Stuart's, is private. Twitter for Stuart even is private. I delete. We're going to talk about. Hopefully, we'll have time. If we're not, we'll talk about next week. We'll talk about Twitter. So anyway, but this meeting was bizarre. And I'm not saying this disparagingly. I'm just being descriptive here. The attorney, the lawyer, was a older woman, grandmotherly, almost. I mean, she had a turtleneck with ruffles. And big glasses. And again, I'm not saying this. It's just, if you looked at her, you'd say, oh, Nana, almost.
Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, you're a lawyer, though.
Yeah. No, awesome. I'm not saying.
Great. Which
absolutely.
Is great. No, we love that Nana's a lawyer.
But having Nana, Esquire, ask me things like quoting me back to me was just kind of weird.
I know, especially
because you know what? Especially in those 2 shows, I fucking swore a lot.
You did.
I did.
You were pissed.
I was
mad.
No. I was mad the last one. But the one before that, I was fucking happy. Because I had fucking done something in my motherfucking... I'm doing that on purpose. In my motherfucking classes that went motherfucking great. And I was so happy about the cocksucking lesson I did. All right, I'm done. But I used the language I did was like, I really fucking blew their minds.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And then the week after that, I was pissed about something. And So she's quoting, do you remember saying, and honestly, I don't. We do the show, I move on with my life, and of course there's beer
And
involved
there's
too.
beer involved, so,
Right.
you know, we only remember so much.
And I'm old.
Yeah, all these
Yeah,
things.
right. It's
Right,
all
of
these things. No, I don't remember every damn thing I say, right? So she's like, do you remember saying it? And I'm like 9 times out of 10, I'm like, no, but it sounds right.
I
Now,
mean, it sounds like something we would say.
yeah, absolutely. Sounds like something. Yes, that sounds like something I would say. So, and I was told ahead of time by more than one person who are knowledgeable about these things. Don't give long answers. Just answer the question directly, yes or no if you can. Don't expound, and that's what I did. I was a very good boy, right? There were many chances where I could have just soapbox Dave.
Like you really wanted to.
Right.
You're
Nah,
no, this is not going to help.
I didn't really want to. I just kind of was so curious to see where this was going, to be honest with
Right.
you. And so it went on for a really long time, and I could see, and the big wig who sent the letter was in the room, and he said almost nothing. So I thought that I had pissed him off, because I know I didn't do anything, quote, illegal or anything like
Is
that.
he one of the people that you were bitching about, though?
Well, I don't know. I kind of thought. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
you're
for the. So I thought he was. I didn't say by name. I assumed the thing I was bitching about was a all-day training that we had. Okay, and I'm not going to get into it again. I was going to say you can go back and listen to the show.
But you can't.
No, but you might be able to. I'm getting to that. I got a thing. You might look. The shows are gone, but they're not gone. Trust me, I got you on this. So don't worry. We're coming to that. So So I thought it was that dude who I pissed off, and he didn't say anything pretty much the most of the whole hour and a half. So I thought, man, I dissed this guy, and he's pissed, and that's why this is coming at me. Finds out, I don't think that's what happened. Again, more conjecture, but I don't think it was, and I'll get to that in a second, in a little bit. So because I'm waiting for the quote shoe to drop, about the sex stuff, about this. There's 14 years of shows of just drunkenness and debauchery, and
talked about
I'm not
all
mentioning
kinds of
any
stuff.
names. I had somebody have an orgasm on the show. I know this
Yes.
sounds kind of Howard Sternish, but
But it happened.
yeah. And yeah, anyway.
There was no nudity, but it happened.
Well, there was nudity later.
I bet
Well, we
there
weren't
was.
recording, if you know what I'm saying.
I bet there was.
No kids, I've never had sex. So, no, I may not ever again, but okay. Anyway, so the meeting gets done. And we're like, okay, so what happens now? Well, we didn't really know what we don't know. So they literally said, okay, look, don't go to class the rest of the week. This was on a Tuesday, I think it was. Don't go to class the rest of the week. Submit some lesson plans, and we'll let you know what we're going to do on Friday. Okay.
Alrighty.
So I went back to the school and got some shit together, and then I left. And Friday, I get told that week, I get told, you're not going back to school on Monday.
You're
And
fired.
No. Well, I'm getting that. And there's a meeting on Tuesday. So okay, weird. So I sent the principal some lesson plans, and then in the meantime, don't talk to anybody. So, okay. So I sent some lesson plans for Monday, and I think I did Tuesday too. And so there's this meeting on Tuesday, and I get a notification, like I had been the whole time as an employee in this district, that there was just a regular Board of Education meeting, school board meeting that Monday. And I'm like, oh, so now I'm putting two to two together. They want the board meeting because they do executive session to talk about personnel issues, and that's where they're going to decide to fire me. So that's why the meeting's on Tuesday.
Makes sense.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm going to try and head this off. So I have my resignation letter, and usually it's in our state, the state that I'm in, you have to give 30 days notice if you're a teacher. If you don't, if you just leave, if you just quit, you can jeopardize your teaching license. And
I didn't know it was that bad.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Well,
that.
you won't. It's not definite, but the district can take steps to have you lose your teaching license if you don't give 30 days notice. Wow. Yeah, which I already knew. I already knew that. So I had the letter ready, giving my 30 days notice. So I show up, and now it's the bigwig guy. The lawyer's not there, but the union's lawyer's there, and the union president, and me. And they're like, yeah, there was a school board meeting last night, and we've decided we want to fire you. So if that's the case, so that'll take place at the next school board meeting, which is a month away, unless you want to fight this, and then we'll. Now, I don't have tenure in this school district, which is a complicated. If you're listening to us in another country, this idea of tenure is a complicated thing. We can talk about it another time. It just makes it much more difficult for them to fire you, and the union will go to the wall for you a lot more if you have tenure. Yeah. And I did not have tenure.
So they're like, yeah, sorry, you can let them go.
Well, they weren't that bad, but they were. They knew, everybody knew I was kind of getting hosed here. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to come back to why
they knew you were getting hosed.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
So like I said, I thought I pissed off the bigwig guy who was in the meeting, who basically was the personnel guy, but it turns out not.
Oh,
right.
All right.
So in the second meeting, he was talking to me, but he was talking, which he didn't really do with the first meeting, and he was relatively nicer to me, and the union lawyer, who I hadn't met until that freaking the 2 minutes before this meeting, was actually helpful, even though he was kind of cozy with the school district. But
I mean, that is what it is.
So they said about the fire, and I said, look, and this is true. I mean, part of it was self-serving, but what I said to them was true. So if you're listening, guys, this is true. I said, look, I came into this district last year in January, and I remember what my kids were like then. And they had 2 other social studies teachers. They were on the 3rd principal, 2 or 3 superintendents. They were shell-shocked. I want to minimize the impact on them. I know I'm leaving one way or another. Here's my letter of resignation. It's 30 days notice. You can post the position, find someone to take my spot, and it's just it's relatively more seamless, the transition, than just me being gone, right? So just for the kids and the other teachers on my team, they don't deserve this. So yeah, I wanted to work as long as I could so I could find another job, of course, but really, let's say it was 50-50. I don't have a percentage.
Well, you do care about the kids.
Of course I do.
I mean, that's why you're a teacher.
Even the crappy one who found my podcast.
But it's just like, you could see any kid, like I could have been that good.
Dude, I'm just.
I know, but it is funny to me because I could totally see myself at that age being that kid because absolutely. I'm a curious cat. So I mean,
that's why your friends call you Whiskers.
It's true.
Okay.
So good.
Yeah. So
it gets old.
It doesn't actually. I know. So all right. So the guy was like, okay, hold on, let me go ask the superintendent. So he goes out and he comes back. And I don't know if he literally talked to the superintendent or if he did one of those used car salesman things. I have to go talk to the manager, whatever. I don't care.
Whatever.
Don't know, don't care. Don't care. So he comes back and says, yeah, that's okay. That's fine. We'll take the letter, your 30-day notice. But you can't talk. You still stay home. Submit your lesson plans to the principal. Don't talk to any of the staff or any of the students. So for the past month, Sunday nights, I've been turning in a week's worth of lesson plans that I'm pretty sure no one has been following. Because the work I'm giving should be getting turned into me or somebody, and there should be grades for it, and there's nothing.
Those poor kids. I
don't know what's happening. Maybe somebody's doing real work. I don't know. I'm not allowed to talk to anybody. So, well, that's not true. I could have. What are they going to do? Fire me? Right? So anyway, right. So I just whatever. So I have been looking for a job. And so while this week, remember the first meeting, and then I had almost a week before the second meeting, I was like, look, man, I deleted all I downloaded all the podcasts and then deleted them from the website. And I deleted them off of the platform that we use them, that we've been saving them from, which is Libsyn.com. Actually, an awesome group. If you do a podcast, you should use Libsyn. And So if you see any of our shows on iTunes, which I want to talk about later, or any other place where you get your podcasts, it's going to be a dead link. The show notes will still be there, but it'll be a dead link. And I left like 5 up of like the Alex Vitale one. We did it like a month or 2 ago. The end of policing.
I saw the ones you loved.
Yeah, David Cobb, Dolly Rots, just because I'm still in love with Lewis.
Because we love them.
I know. And
did you see
Kelly Gray.
Did you see the pictures of them? They were at a wedding.
Oh, I totally cyberstalked the Dolly Rots.
Oh my god, it was the cutest family picture of the 4 of them, and I love their son had a really cute suit coat, and
you remember what they're called, right?
And then the kids.
The kids are the Dolly Tots.
The Dolly Tots.
Yeah.
And he had like this bright pink, like fuchsia pink shirt underneath that, and he just looked so cool. It's like, you look like a rock star kid. It was cute.
Do me a favor. Get closer.
Get closer?
Yeah. Remove the mic. Okay.
So, yeah.
I'll fix it in post. But,
okay. I know they were so cute anyway.
So, all right. So, so we're taping on a Tuesday, and tomorrow will be technically my last day as a teacher in this district. I do not have a job yet. I actually have an interview for something on Thursday, and then an interview for something else next week. And I've been applying to things, not all teaching, some interesting advocacy, stick it to the man kind of stuff. So I'm working, I'm figuring it out. And yeah, so like we're doing this on Tuesday, and after tomorrow night, I will no longer be an employee, and I'll post the show tomorrow night, and we're back. We're back, baby.
We're back.
And fuck it. I fixed the things where my full name will not be seen, and I did do the web search on multiple search engines,
looking for your name,
looking my name and see if what pops up, and
you're all good now.
In theory, unless there's something else I missed, but it should be good. There apparently is a Dave of my last name who apparently is some kind of serial killer.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, let's not talk anymore about it.
I know, but that is actually true. That's funny. So, I mean, it's not funny that he's a serial killer. But it is funny that you have the same name as a serial killer.
So, yeah, what can I say? I mean, so it's been really weird. So I'm, as usual, like any kind of weird shit that happens, I try to find some positives and way to learn stuff from it. And so, which we can get to in a few minutes, but looking at other ways of getting this show out there. And I actually am planning on probably the first of the year deleting the Stuart Badasso show, Stuart Badasso radio Twitter account, because we can talk about Twitter down the road, but I'm looking at other places to do stuff. And we had talked about maybe having this go live streaming.
Yeah.
But then I thought my face, because who knows if someone sees it and goes, oh, that's my teacher, or that's a person who works at this place. So we won't do that, but I do have a way to use YouTube to post the shows without our faces. What if we
did it without our faces?
Well, yeah, it'll just be because I'll just do the audio with whatever pictures I use to usually post the show.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Like, there's plenty of YouTube channels and stuff where they don't show the actual faces of the people. Because
there's gonna be like the ring light in here, and we were gonna use Twitch. Actually, I did the research, and then I thought, man, I don't need my face out there for this, and because I like doing this, and I don't have to worry about it. So. Fuck it. Nobody needs to see my face. I mean, everybody would love to see your face, but nobody needs to see my face. So we're back. We're going to keep doing this. I have some ideas about people. We actually had a interview lined up with a couple of sex workers. We were going to do the Zoom thing, and we had to postpone that. And so
cancel it.
Yeah, we'll get that back going. And we were making lists of people we would like to have on the show. And we're gonna fuck it. We're gonna do this, man. I'm gonna make this not that different, but better. I'm saying this on purpose just to kind of make you laugh a little bit. So looking at other places for social media to kind of start posting shows, I went back and we're gonna start posting again on Pillow Fort. I know you appreciate that. Pillow Fort.
I do.
And there's some other places too.
Well, I like the name Pillow Fort.
I know you do.
I mean, that's just a great.
And there's some other places too, and we'll do more with YouTube. And so here's the thing about the old shows. We have a highly underused Patreon account. And if you don't know Patreon, it's like you get, if you want, it's up to the creators. You can be as free or charge people, or you can subscribe every month, and like the free people get this stuff, and the people who subscribe to this much a month get this, and whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of like celebrities and stuff that do it too. Like,
absolutely.
You know,
yeah. So we've had one for a while, and as we had two, now we have one. It's just one person right now. We literally have one subscriber, and I just sent out a postcard to that person.
I love that postcard
yesterday
too.
Yeah. So
that was one of the ones I donated.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Are you sure about that?
I am 100% because I remember buying it. No, I promise. I promise.
That's funny because I know I've had that postcard.
Oh, you may have. I had a book. Hilarious. I had a booklet of all the.
That's funny.
Yeah. I still have more. I have more. So anyway, so the old shows, I'm thinking once a month. I'm not going to go too nuts. We will post on for our Patreon subscribers $1 a month. You can do more if you want to help. That would be awesome. But we're going to post old shows, and they'll be there. And fuck it. The first show I'm posting is going to be the show that got me fired. The last show. You will listen to it because it turns out the reason they were pissed. So here's my conjecture. I'm sorry, I got the train of thought went away. So went from student, I'm assuming, to parent, assuming to bigwig somewhere, right?
Parent heard it.
Right.
Parent
so
pissed.
Now I don't know if there's multiple bigwigs or if it went right to either the school district school district superintendent or a board member. And I think because that last
the person that was there was not the superintendent.
No. So the last.
I guess I assumed the big wig was the superintendent.
You're not on the mic, so you're talking to me, but you're not on the mic.
I thought the big wig was the superintendent.
No, the big wig was like the person in charge of personnel. So I'm more conjecture. I don't care. The more conjecture of my part is like it got to either the superintendent or a board member, and they got pissed and insisted I had to go because I didn't have tenure, and so that means they
You're
can.
like a new dude. You're like a new dude. They're like,
right.
We don't know you.
They don't care about me. Get closer to the mic, please. So
they don't know you.
Yes.
They don't care.
So I think that's what drove this. Now, again, my conjecture, I'm not sure. Either way, you know the deal of the facts. Somebody got pissed about the show because that last show was bitching about that training day, and it was pretty fucked up.
Because it was fucked up.
It was
very good reason to be pissed.
And if you want to hear, you can subscribe for $1 a month. You can do it for 1 month, to be honest with you, and then unsubscribe. But we will post the show that got me fired, and you will hear it. That'll be the thing. You will hear what it was, and then you'll listen to it, and you'll be like, "The fuck, dude?" And I'll be like, "Right, what the fuck?" But that's the way people are. That's the way shit is these days, and it's probably always that way. But that's okay.
That's how it is.
That's how it is, and that's fine. And so far, no one's coming to repossess my house or anything else I have yet, and we'll see how that works out. So.
But you're gonna get some money because you said like you're gonna get some money from like what you.
Yeah, so
you're like your last paycheck is gonna be kind of a bigger paycheck.
Every school district is different how they do this. So this one, you if you want to, you take your paycheck and you can stretch. There's 20 usually 20 paychecks in a school year in the United States, and you can, because it's every other week, 40 weeks, give or take, whatever. It might be 26. I can't remember. So they will take some out of every paycheck and then give you a lump sum at the end of the school year, which sucks. And that's supposed to be good for you for the summer. Mm-hmm. Some districts will like just give you, a paycheck every 2 weeks in the summer too, which is the best way to do it.
Some will just they'll just
give you
it out.
Yeah, which is the way you should do it. But some,
way better.
Like this one, give you a big ass thing. So I have been doing that. And so up until me being done tomorrow, I've been putting that money away. So I'll be getting that extra money. So I will be able to pay bills and I'll be fine. Now, this should be good for at least a month.
Yeah. I mean, you'll get another job. I mean,
there are a couple of in case of emergency break glass kind of options I have, which shit I really, really, really don't want to do.
But they're there if you have to.
If I have to, yeah. So
I mean, that's always good to have.
Yeah. Also some changes that are happening. This actually got me.
Are you gonna be selling your underwear? Or like...
Would anyone buy it? Well, we've had this conversation. No one would. But who would buy my underwear?
People who like to buy underwear.
Guy underwear.
Yeah.
People would buy guy underwear.
Well, other guys.
Women wouldn't buy guy underwear.
I don't know. No. I mean, I wouldn't, but. No, I wouldn't. But I think I don't know. I think maybe somebody would.
Well, okay. So if I were to start selling my underwear. Let's have this conversation. Not? By the way, this conversation we're about to have is not why I got fired.
No.
Just saying.
I know that apparently was no problem.
I meant to say this. So this is the only time they got into the quote sexy stuff, but it was still about that show where I bitched about the school district was when the lawyer, again, ruffled turtleneck and the big glasses and Nana. Nana said to me, and do you remember that the show was called Home Orgy Kit? And I didn't even smile then, even though it was really fucking funny and surreal. And I went, sure. I remember there was a show like that. Okay, if you tell me that was the name of the show.
I mean, we were drunk, so I don't know.
I did not mention that, but you could tell we talked about here. So just Nana was saying Home Orgy Kit. And I made Nana say Home Orgy Kit. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, So if people, I would have to, first I'd have to switch to a different kind of underwear because I'm a boxer guy. I like the boxers. You can't really make it smell. You gotta do some nasty ass shit to make boxers smell.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't really think about.
Yeah, you gotta.
No.
Like if you were wearing,
if you're wearing tighty whities, that's like right up by your crotch.
Tighties, right?
That's
and
like right by.
And whatever crotch. You do, me being the action person that I am, that would just have the usual sense. I mean, I could do other things that would make smells. From either front or backside, whatever you need, whatever you want. I could see there could be different categories. I could do front smells, back smells. I could do both, whatever you want. But I would need to change my underwear. No, right. So, oh man, I hadn't.
Do you have
thought
a name
of
for the show?
God, no.
Dave got fired.
It's not Home Orgy Kit because that's already been taken. Although that show's down now, I guess maybe I can.
Nana's Home Orgy Kit. Nana didn't like her Home Orgy Kit.
You're not getting your money back, Nana. Sorry. All right. So, Jesus. So, yeah. So one of the things other things. I'm looking into some other ways of making the show a little bit more sustainable. When that may include, I hate to say this word, but and it's not anytime soon. Trust me. Maybe even ads in the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like YouTubers do it. I mean, I realize that YouTubers is a different thing, but you can still do like ads for stuff that you approve of. Can't you?
Some to do if you are like really getting a shitload of downloads, then you could just do it yourself. But no, most podcasts there's something called Acast. There's a bunch of different places that will do it for Libsyn, the platform we do. But you look at there, you got to have a certain amount of downloads every week. We're not even fucking close. No. And so one of the ways that you can help without actually paying, if you get a chance, I mean, any place where you get the show, if it's iTunes, especially iTunes, if you want to like do the, because I listen to a bunch of podcasts myself,
right?
Do the iTunes thing where you give us 5 stars and give us a review. That
is actually helpful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that would be cool. So the link to get to the iTunes place where our show is, I'll put that in the show notes. And yeah, if you want to just give us some stars and or a review, that would be awesome. That would help us. And, again, not trying to like make money off of this. It would be awesome. It would just be sustainable. So that because currently for 14 years, I've basically been paying to put this show on, which is fine. That's no problem. I enjoy it. This is why we do it. Don't do it to make money. Do it to.
You do it to drink beer and have a good time. Get the word out. We do it to get the word out.
Yeah.
Get the thing.
Yeah.
Do the things.
Right. So, anyway, there might be some things. We're going to be on YouTube a little bit more, and I just have some ideas. We're going to be on different social medias at some point. We're going to be off of Twitter, and there's going to be more blogging on the website, which I've told you this, you're always welcome to anything you want to put on there. You can.
I should do that.
You can. You don't have to if you're not interested. That's fine. I'm just telling you.
I could, though. But I have plenty of opinions, as we all know.
It doesn't even have to be opinions. So I will tell you, we will be part of like the Stuart Badasso Radio, the media empire we have going here. I have some, like, not top 10, but some lists of like protest songs under different categories that we'll be posting as like kind of blog posts, and I have those ready, and there's already one up. The website's been not down, but you had to be by approval only to see the website just until all this is over, and another 24 hours. And so to gave me a chance to revamp it. It looks different now. It looks good. Yeah, it's good. It's the same content, but it just looks a little different, and a few more ads that of our affiliates, the people, the companies that we've been associated with, Beer Drop and Go Solar and all these different places. Yeah.
Powell.
The bookstore Powell's and all the places we've had.
Well, I'm a fan.
Yeah, a few more, some porn things and some sex toy stuff. Dude, you need sex toys. And if
everybody needs sex toys.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
You should.
And you don't have enough. Trust me. You think you have enough, you don't.
Because the batteries, they die, and then you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, oh, but I have this backup.
Well, that, and you never know when, you know, something's just not working. And you never know, someone can like hit a different crevice or something.
It's true.
Yeah. So you should check it out. But the holiday season, which we'll probably talk more about that next week. Where am I on time? Oh shit, we're at 42 minutes already. So gift cards. We've given my lovely and talented bride and I have given gift cards, even gift cards for sex toy places right from StuartBadasso.com. So,
awesome.
Yeah. So if you're looking to, there's bookstore stuff you can do, and there's other, things like that. A Beer Drop. I gave somebody a gift card for a Beer Drop just the other day. Or
that is a lovely gift.
Yeah, it was. So by all means, we're gonna have the website going, and all that stuff just goes to keep us sustainable, right? So if I do lose my job and I'm like, on the welfare line, as they used to say back in the old blues songs, that at least we can keep Stuart going. So check out the shit. So by the time you're hearing this, the website will be totally back open, and if there's any fucking 8th graders, god damn it, go watch anime shit on YouTube.
I know.
Stop
I'm like, what are y'all doing?
And there's a disclaimer on the website, and
that's true. There is.
And if
it's always been on there.
And if you're listening to this show, you already know we're now going to have a disclaimer at the beginning of every podcast. I already have it done. It's ready. It's Stuart, and so there'll be a disclaimer at the beginning of every damn show, saying,
in Stuart's voice.
Yes, it is in Stuart's voice.
That you're not allowed to watch a show if you're under 18.
I don't remember. I think it says if you're an 8th grader, go the fuck away. It does. I don't remember.
I think it should.
It should, but it doesn't. No, because then I'll get fucked by a 9th grader.
Someone's going to mess with you.
Right. So just stop. Just go. We'll be here. Look, unless I die, the show's going on. So as soon as you hit 18, you come back and we'll be talking about the same dumb shit.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, Melissa, how you doing?
Oh.
Yeah.
Do I have something to say? Oh.
No, you do. Can I pull it out?
Yeah.
Oh, but you got to stay with the...
Yeah.
I know it's been a while. You got to... Yeah. So, you have a thing going on that because of current events. And I'm only... I would say we've talked about this on the show before, but you're just gonna have to wait for it to get posted on Patreon for you to hear it. Get used to that for a while. You can't get your meds.
I cannot get my meds.
Let's talk. Can we talk about that? Is that right?
Yeah, we can totally talk about
it.
With
our last 10-ish, well, we can go as long as we want.
Yeah, but no, actually we can. You're right. We can talk about it. So yeah, ADHD meds. In case people don't know, and you may not, especially if you have no need to know, there is. So the pharmaceutical companies that make the ADHD meds, they are only relegated. They're only allowed to have a certain amount of raw materials to make the ADHD meds, which I think is what they mean is meth.
So I learned this the other day. You hit me to this. So really, a lot of ADHD meds are like low profile meth.
Yes. Wow. It's what I take is actually called methylphenidate.
And you have all your teeth. I'm impressed. Well done, Melissa. Well done.
I know. Well, here's the thing. Okay, so this is so if anybody
those are your teeth, right?
I know, right?
Okay, all right. Check it.
So people who have ADHD do not respond to amphetamines and medication that has that type of speedy effect like other people do. It doesn't really I don't feel anything from it.
Like the drug, I don't even know if it's used anymore. I'm sure it is. The drug that by the name of Ritalin is actually
they still use it.
Is a stimulant.
It is,
and it's because people with ADHD, that drug, that type of drug, actually helps you focus, even though it's a stimulant.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's
just like it doesn't affect. It doesn't make me feel hyper. It doesn't make me feel like, well, I gotta run around and do things. Like, I don't get that. It doesn't make me feel that way. And honestly,
I know those kids.
Yeah. I was one of those kids until I got medication. So yeah, I've been on this medication for about 15 years. And I definitely feel very different. It kind of makes without it. Yeah. So I can't get it because, okay, going back to that. Yeah. I can't get it because the pharmaceutical companies, and I learned this from the pharmacy where I normally purchase it. The pharmacist told me. An actual pharmacist. Right, yeah. Yeah, because of course people jokingly said, well, if you need to just get meth. I'm like, no, I'm not going to fucking do that. And I'm like, no, I mean.
I got some Sudafed. You're right, you make your own.
Yeah, it's like the point of that type of medication is its extended release. So I'm not just like getting hit with an amphetamine. I get a bit of that throughout the day, so it keeps me focused and it keeps me doing what I need to do. And then the other awesome thing about that is when the medication is done, when you've run through the medication, it actually helps me sleep.
Because you kind of
crash. You kind of go like, okay, I'm all done. My day's done, and I'm just like ready to go to bed. Because when you have ADHD, a lot of times you can't shut your brain down. Just cannot. It's just you just can't.
I have that. I don't know. I'm not
a lot of people. I mean, actually, a lot of people do have that. But when you have that, you really it's
I
really
blame MTV
impossible.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably is.
I still get off my lawn.
Good. So, yeah, it's been really difficult. It's been difficult for me to stay on task. I'm noticing myself like at work and at home kind of pacing, which is something I tend to do when I don't have a thing to like purposefully get me to like make me just stay focused on something. So I tend to pace, and I've been doing that again, which sucks. I am taking, so caffeine helps. It is like it's not perfect because it's not the same thing because it doesn't, you're not getting like a little bit through the day.
And like too much caffeine doesn't that, at least for me, it does shit to my stomach.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, I don't really notice that. And I freaking love caffeine because I love coffee. I mean, coffee is really one of my favorite.
Which we've talked about on
tasting.
prior shows that
Yeah.
someday you'll be able to listen to at Patreon.
Yeah.
On our Patreon.
How much I love coffee. So I've been self-medicating with coffee and with cannabis because sativa does actually help with that. It is another thing that people use because sativa doesn't have that's not the sleepy time type of
As
cannabis.
opposed to
Indica. Indica is the sleepy time, go to sleepy time. Relax. A lot of times that's used for pain, pain maintenance.
That's the one I like.
Yeah. No, I honestly, that's usually most of the time when I'm out and about buying it, that's what you find. You find a lot of indica because most people do. A lot of people use it for pain management, for stomach,
Mm-hmm.
if you have cancer or if you have something else that's ailing you, and it does help you eat. So yeah, all of that stuff. But if you take sativa has a different effect. Sativa makes you actually focused, aware. That can also sometimes have, when people have like the silly giggly things, a lot of times that's also can be associated with sativa.
Well, yeah, because the other one, you just want to go to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just chilling.
No, I'm chilling.
I'm not in pain. I'm about to go to sleep. Things are good. Yeah. I mean, they're both awesome. But for me, for what I use and for what I need it for, I do mostly buy sativa as opposed to indica. Yeah, that beer isn't that great.
It's not anything.
Yeah, it's not
It's not
great.
bad.
It doesn't taste like much of anything.
Well, yeah, we've had beer where it's like, oh my God, this tastes like
I can't drink this.
Like
I really can't drink it.
like it's my
Yeah.
fronty underwear
yeah, or
my back
mixed
underwear.
with socks.
Yeah, right. No, this
Mixed
just
with
has
stinky
no.
socks.
Well, as long as
Yeah.
there's alcohol. Hopefully, there's alcohol in it. Anyway,
Anywho, so yeah, Dave, this has been really difficult.
so is there a forecast on when your medication
Next year. This is after the end of the year.
That's still 12 months of a year. So like January, whatever. Or
January, they're supposed to be able to start getting it in again.
What's the magic that January 1st when the calendar flips?
I guess it's a calendar flip thing. So the reason there's a shortage
Yeah.
is because a lot of people are being given this medication.
Oh, this isn't like some bullshit supply chain thing. This is just
There are so many people getting this medication now. They had no idea that they were going to run out.
that
And
idea.
I'll be
Okay.
honest, it kind of makes me mad because I know for a fact that there are people who are able to get this medication just because they want something to make them feel speedy, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Adderall is in there too, and Adderall is a stronger version of it. And I don't need to. I mean, Adderall exists, and I mean, I guess I would take it if I could get anything. But even that's there. Everything's out.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've fuck it. We've talked about this, and maybe it'll get it on our Patreon at some point. But Yeah, no, I mean, it's overprescribed. Meds are
It's
overprescribed for
overprescribed.
kids, for sure. I don't know about adults, but definitely for kids.
Yeah, I think it's both. And I mean, it took me a long time to find out what the fuck was wrong with me. It really did. It wasn't until I couldn't sleep anymore. Like, you know, I had like 5 years of having insomnia. And it was a friend of mine that actually suggested, he's like, because he has ADHD. And he was like, I don't know if anyone's ever said this to you, but I've noticed certain things that you do. And I think you have ADHD. Maybe you should go to a doctor. And yeah, that did it. Getting that medication changed my life. So now going to sleep has been difficult because my brain keeps going. Like it doesn't just shut down. It doesn't stop. So it keeps going. Last night I had a really hard time. I went to sleep really, really late. I was glad I didn't actually have to go into work today. Cause it was tough. It was last night was hard.
Well, I guess the quote good news is, you know,
I will.
soon.
I'll have it again.
There's like,
right.
there's
And I mean,
just
I
a few
went
weeks,
without
hopefully.
this medication for many, 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 many years. So it sucks. I hate it. I don't like the way I feel. It is difficult. But at least, I mean, at 50 years old, I have learned some ways to manage better. So, like I have an app that I use to help budget my time, to do time management. So I use that. Like today I had to do a bunch of Christmas stuff. But I'm telling you right now, if I didn't write down every little bit of like, bring the ornaments up, put the ornaments out, and
Right.
figure out a budget that time in there, I would have been lost. I actually got all the shit today done.
I hope you see this as me caring about you as a friend, but that text I sent you, knowing that you might be like doing whatever, that's why I texted you going, hey, we still good for
Are you
today?
still good? Yeah.
That's why I just
I know
figured
you're
you-
like, I know your brain might be somewhere else completely.
right. No,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like,
But I put it in my, but you know what? But just so you know, I even put that into the app I use.
but I just
Podcast
knew
today.
what was happening. I was like, you know what, let me just help out. And
Make sure she remembers
Right.
because
Well,
your brain may be somewhere
but even
else.
if you like, oh my God, I was, I don't know, repainting the roof, whatever.
Because that's the kind of shit.
Yeah,
you do.
right. Yeah. I just went, no worries, man. It's all good. But yeah.
Well, today I did get a lot of stuff done. I wanted to get a bunch of Christmas decorating done today. And so, yeah, last night, part of the reason I was up late is because I was really trying to time manage my day today. And I did a pretty good job. I did not take into account that my back was going to start hurting. And so I had to sit down a lot more often. But I still got it all done.
Well, you know what we should do?
What's that?
Because we're just about at the end of the show.
Yeah.
We should finish these mediocre beers and then like go get a real one. Because I'm feeling like a Guinness. I
know,
think I
you're
need
like,
a
I need
Guinness.
something after this.
This is like really
is
just
so
mediocre.
gross.
I don't know if you have time or if you an inkling.
I could
or-
have one.
Okay. Yeah. We're just about done.
Yeah.
Most of this was me telling you my saga. And there'll be updates, you know. And when I get a new job, I'll tell you I got a new job. I'm not telling you where,
I won't tell you where.
obviously. Or maybe, you know what? I actually did. I did apply for a job working with deaf folks.
Why not?
No, I did, but I'm just saying that they won't hear the podcast.
No, they won't. Boom.
No. So. Sorry.
Tip your waitress.
Yeah, no, well, no, it wasn't meant as a joke. It was being serious. Actually, the job would be okay. It would be pretty cool. Yeah. So, haven't heard back. Like a lot of the jobs. Anyway, so
Well, maybe it's because they're deaf.
okay, I sent it by email. I didn't stand outside
Said
and
you
shout
didn't hear
it.
back.
No, yes, I did. Yes, okay. Wow. Took an awkward
I'm an
turn.
asshole too.
Yeah, it took an awkward turn. So, yeah, we'll be back. So here's the thing. So I was minorly rigid on a schedule of when we would do the podcast because I was trying to play the podcast as well on Stuart Pedasso Radio. And also before this whole fiasco happened, I had decided to try Stuart Burdassa Radio with no talk shows on it. Not our podcast, not Richard Wolf, not Common with Lee Camp's Lee Camp show, Common Censored. I think I got it right. I did say I was pre-gaming, right?
You did.
So yeah, okay. And all the other shows that we were playing, and because I noticed that even though there's not a ton of listeners at Stuart Burdassa Radio, which you should totally listen to at stuartburdassa.com.
Oh my God, why aren't you listening?
Like after this show is done, after you're done listening to this. But whenever the talk shows would come on, even though it was really important stuff, like folks stopped listening, the few people. So it's like, all right, let's just stay with the music, even though the music's really cool and it's kind of revolutionary shit and all that kind of jazz. And yeah, it's actually helped our listenership, I won't say exponentially, but anyway, it's helped.
Happening.
So this podcast is just going to be its own thing. It's not going to be on Stuart Burdassa Radio. So we're going to be back in the next week or so, whenever it happens. I was always Friday or Saturday because I wanted to get it on for Sunday. Whatever.
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Now we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. So there is the Stuart Burdassa Media Empire. You've got the podcast that you're listening to right now, and we'll be here just about every week. And then there's Stuart Burdassa Radio, which is 24/7. It's just, Jesus, you know what? Even though I'm paying to put this thing up there, I like listening to it. I mean, I listen to it when I'm cooking dinner. I listen to it when I'm doing shit. You should totally check it out. There's there's no one genre. It's totally just, you never know what's coming next. Even I don't, because I don't program every damn thing. And at some point when my job situation is more settled and I know when I have a time, I'm thinking about doing some live shows, which I've been threatening myself to do, and just doing some other stuff on there. You should totally check out Stuart Burdassa Radio. And we'll be back sometime soon in the next week with a new show. Melissa still won't have her meds yet, so maybe,
I still won't, so I'm still going to be a little bit off. And
no, I just thought maybe I'll just sit here and drink, and you can just kind of go off about everything. Or whatever. All right, I'm going to get a Guinness. You coming with me to get a Guinness?
Yeah, I'll come with you.
All right, we'll be back. Thank you for tuning in. I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
for the little blip.
We've missed you.
Yeah, and
We've missed each other.
God damn. Other people who don't listen to this show suck. But it's not you. We love you.
We love you, though.
The other people suck. Bye.
Okay, ciao.
You owe thousands of dollars in taxes, and the government wants their money. Or do they? The U.S. government spends almost $1 trillion every year on the military, and they're under pressure to spend less on bombs and planes and more on healthcare and education. And this is where you benefit. Call American Tax Assassin now, and we'll negotiate an agreement between you and the government. The government forgives what you owe, and you kill black and brown people for them. The more people you kill, the less you have to pay. It's win-win for you white folks, and you get to travel to such exotic places as Yemen, Syria, Somalia, and Venezuela.
I owed $12,000 to the IRS, and all I had to do was go stab some people in Haiti, and I'm free. Thank you, American Tax Assassins.
Call us now at 1-800-545-5829. That's 1-800-KILL-TAX. The government was going to kill them anyway, so why not rid yourself of this unfair tax burden? That's 1-800-KILL-TAX. Call American Tax Assassins right away.